Amy from Doodle Dog Designs. I sometimes use wooden boards that replicate colonial horn books to mount a punch needle project on. Now, horn books were used in the colonial period and earlier, and they were used for school children in school as a sort of primer. They often had different shapes, but they usually have a handle for the child to hold on to. You can find some pre-made horn books on Etsy. I like to shape my own based on the project that I have. As you can see here for this pumpkin, I did a rounded shape. This one here that has the curved top, I did more of a curve at the top here, and then I put a diamond shaped handle on it. And this one is more traditionally shaped, which is a long skinny handle, and this to me looks a lot like a breadboard too. So if you are out and about and see a wooden breadboard, it's possible you could use one of those. This one is pretty square, so I did a pretty square board. It's got an oval handle. And then finally this one here is very squared off with just a rounded handle on it. So I'm going to show you how you can design your own pattern for a horn book, and then you can cut it out yourself or take it to a woodworker and have them cut it out. So I have this project here that I punched, and I would like to mount it on a horn book. And then I have some graph paper and ruler and a pencil. I'll probably also use some other rounded objects as I get further into this. You want to have the width of the project plus a little bit of a border around it. You can have a large border, or this one has a really small border, just depending on the look you want to achieve. I think for this I'm going to go with a border, try to have about this much of a border all the way around. That is about 3/8. So I think on average it will be about a 1/2 inch, so I'm gonna go with a 1/2 inch border all the way around this project. So I'll need to add an inch to my dimensions in order to get a 1/2 inch border on each side. Let's just scoot it over here. And then we'll add an inch to that. So we'll start on this line there. Scoot that all the way over. Go down. And then we're going to go with this line here for the bottom. So we're going to add an inch to that, so it's going to be right about here. And then if I add an inch to this, it will be I'm going to go a little bit more and I'm going to go right in here between the two lines. So now I'm going to connect my lines. See how that looks. That looks pretty good. So on some of these I've left the bottoms more straight, and then on some of them the bottoms are curved. I think I'm going to leave the bottom two straight and then curve the top two. So I need to find something roundish that has about the curve that I want there. Okay, I found this zinc lid, and it's big enough that it will give a pretty gentle curve to this. So I'm going to put it to where it lines up with the top and the side, the edges here, and just draw that line. And we'll see how that looks. I think that's okay, but I need to add a little bit more at the bottom here. I'm going to add one more square, which is a 1/4 inch. And there's no real right way to do this. It's just however you think it looks good. If you're happy with it, that's really all that matters in the end. So now I want to make some sort of handle up at the top. So I'm going to show you how to draw several different handle types. I have this paper mache oval box that I'm going to use to start the handle, and I'm going to make sure I get it right in the middle. 11, there's 11 squares in the middle here, and this box is a little more than 9 squares wide, so 11 minus 9 is 2. I want to have 1 on either side. So I want to have 1 complete square on this side and 1 complete square on this side. And you can see there's a little bit extra, so I'm just going to scoot it over a little bit more. That looks about right. Scoot it down. So if you wanted a handle more like this one, you could do something like that and round this off a little bit.
I do not have it centered.
There, that's better. So you could just round this out then, like so, if you wanted it to be more of a round handle like that. You could even bring it up more. If you wanted. And then have this come over more before it goes up. That would give it more of a rounded look. Now, if you just want a long skinny handle, you could do that too. Draw that up, and then you could use something to round off the top. Maybe something smaller. Here's something that'll work. I think for this, that's too long of a handle. I think what I really want to do is make the diamond shaped handle like I've got on this one. So to make this shape, I have a square that I made out of cardstock that's 1.5 inches square. And I'm going to use it to draw. I tried to draw it with just the ruler and I couldn't get it just right. So I decided to use a square for a pattern that will make sure I have it the right size. So I want to start by finding the middle of this. So it is 23 squares across. So 23 divided by 2 will be 11.5. So I want to go over 11.5 squares, and that will be the middle. Here's 11, so right there at 11.5 should be the middle. Okay, so I'm going to take that up to the top and just draw that in lightly. So I want to put this to where I have the both of the corners, the top and bottom corner, lined up with my line that I just drew that shows the middle. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw this part too, but not all the way to the tip. So now to get this, I want a curve here going in, and this glue stick again is about the right size. So hopefully you can see that. My erase marks are not distracting, but I think that's what I'm going to use right there. So it's pretty easy to make your own pattern if you just use some graph paper and a ruler and some round objects that you have around the house that are the right size. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.